All right, Lauren Klein is here, Pittsburgh Property Diva, Coldwell Banker, Marysville, 412-628-8286. Now, if you want to call in and be on the program today, and a lot of you making that transition, kids are back, school is long in session, forget about that. You're settled in, you're starting to make plans for late winter, or of course 2019 and beyond. You're thinking your house, you need to sell it. Man, you've come to the right place. Anything that you need in the way of a question answer when it comes to real estate, it's free. It's just a phone call away at 866-310-20. Dollar Bank Instant Access, kdkradio.com, or you can text us on the Red Automotive line, the best deal in town. PittsburghPropertyDiva.com is where you can also find out more. And we're going to all of the open houses tomorrow, as a matter of fact, that she would like to tell you about as we begin. Pittsburgh Property Klein. Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm always glad to be here. It's nice to see you.
We're glad that you're always glad to be here.
Thank you. So we had a little bit of slow time in August as far as listings and inventory, but now this week you're going to see, if you haven't already, lots of new listings, some price reductions of houses that maybe were sitting on the market for the summertime, just because we have a little less buyers out while people are on vacation and busy with kids and time off work. So August things kind of slowed down a little bit, but right after Labor Day, I put up 5 listings in 1 week, mostly in the East. I had a really nice sale in Mount Lebanon. It was only on the market for about 2 days, and that was at the beginning of August. So our Pittsburgh market is still excellent. There are lots of houses to choose from, no matter what your budget or where you want to be. But I have some new, really, really nice listings that I put on this week, and I'm having, I think 7 open houses tomorrow, all at one time. So big open house Sunday, and I'm really looking forward to that because I think everybody's kind of back in the swing of things after the kids go back to school.
Let's talk about the east of Pittsburgh. Truly one of the most historic places of Pittsburgh. Chic, yes. Trendy, absolutely. But real Pittsburgh, real city of neighborhood stuff.
Yeah, there's some really nice suburbs to the east, and a couple of my favorites. Obviously, I love Shadyside.
Yeah, who does?
I love Regent Square, Edgewood.
Right.
Yeah, Churchill has some really cool architecture. In fact, I have a listing that I just reduced this week. It was actually a pretty big price reduction. I'm down to $349.9. It's right on William Penn Highway in Churchill, but it is a massive stone. It's a hand-laid stone 2-story multi-level house that has so much charm and so much character. It's beautiful. So that one is open tomorrow from 12 to 3. Any of the houses that I talk about today will always be on my website. So if you don't know addresses and you want to look up the addresses later on, you can always go to PittsburghPropertyDiva.com and you'll see all the opens there and all the new listings.
What do you advise people to do when they go to an open house, besides open the house?
When you say that, are you talking about the sellers getting ready for that open house?
No, or people that are actually going to go view these
People
houses.
that go to open houses, I would say the main thing is to be, if you're a buyer and you're hitting open houses, an agent is going to greet you. And if you're working with an agent, the best thing to do is say hello, introduce yourself, and say, I have an agent, and we're just here to look around. That way it's a very no-pressured, relaxing tour of the house at your own pace.
No, I was just going to say, because should you have a checklist, especially if you're going to look at a group of houses, things that you are looking to fit your living needs?
Buyers do know, I think for the most part, they do know what they want. They do know what kind of features they're looking for. So I don't know if you need to walk around with a checklist, but you do want to have a good idea of where you want to be, what your budget is like, and then fitting that your location to your budget, and then narrowing down what your wants and needs and must-haves are, so that you're finding the perfect house. But it also has to be affordable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It really does. And a lot of people are looking in Pittsburgh. Our market is so good right now. Prices are, you know, we're careful about how we price houses. We don't want to overprice them because they won't appraise. We don't want to undersell them. We want to position them on the market to be sold either at list price or within a few percentage points of where that list price is. Mm-hmm. So the folks that are out there thinking they're going to go in and, you know, get 8 or 10% off that list price is really unrealistic. So it's lining up the expectations with reality in a particular area, in a particular budget.
You know, and I've often said the reason you need to focus on your budget, and everybody has one, because it's, yeah, I know, love at first sight, but sooner or later, if you choose that house, you have to live within that house by living within a budget. And that love relationship will always be there, but it will fade with time. And if you have not stay within your budget, that could really come back to haunt you.
Well, I never want anybody to be house poor.
Right.
And your budget is as important to me when I'm your agent as it is to you. I'm not going to sell you a house that you can't afford comfortably. It just doesn't make sense for either of us. So it may have all the bells and whistles, but if at the end of the day it is not affordable, then it's not meant to be.
All right, listen, Lauren Klein is here. If you have a question, 866-391-1020. Next hour, Mary Ellen Pfeiffer, the Waters of Wexford, the guys from True Value, will join us at 10 o'clock today. And then our final hour today, AAA Central Talking Travel, it's Amtrak with Tracy Edwards. Now, why are we finishing today at noon? Because we're going to be carrying the Pirates-Miami game, first pitch at 1:05 on KDK Radio, because everything all day long, right up until PIMG Sports and 93.7 The Fan, it's the Panthers hosting the Nittany Lions of Penn State, and they'll kick that off at 8 o'clock. So a busy sports day here at the plant, but we're talking real estate and more to come in a moment on KDK Radio. Good morning. All right, Lauren Klein, PittsburghPropertyDiva.com, 412-628-8286. You have a question about real estate, you can phone in at 866-391-1020 or Dollar Bank Instant Access, KDKRadio.com, or you can text us on the Red Automotive line, the best deal in town. So if somebody is thinking about selling their home, realistically, what are we looking at timeline-wise, and what should they be thinking the earliest it would be for them to actually sell the house? And when do they start looking for a house, and all of the above?
Well, if you want to sell by the end of the year,
right,
then you want to be on the market by the end of the month. You want to hit those people, the buyers that want to move for Thanksgiving, by Christmas, and by the time you're under agreement, you're 45 to 60 days out. So if you list in September, you're closing in, either the end of October or the beginning of November. So timing is really important, and I say this all the time. People are looking for houses for different reasons all the time. So you never know what kind of buyers are going to be out there, but right now you have the people who want to buy something by the end of the year, and if you want to sell by the end of the year, put your house on the market by the end of the month. Otherwise, you're probably going to want to wait until the spring market hits. So January, February, March, then that's a good listing time. So if you're not ready right now, then just hold off and wait till after the first of the year.
Repairs that you should take care of if you want to sell by the end of the year, that you should be jumping on right now, and ones that you can wait and see the warmth or lack thereof it when it comes to your home on the market.
Well, before we get into the winter season, I think roof and your heavy mechanicals like your furnace, you want to make sure those are in good order.
Right.
And I'm all about maintenance. So homeowners should have, if they don't already, kind of a yearly maintenance checklist that they go through to keep that house in prime condition. So if you do have to sell, if you do get a job relocation and you have to put your house on the market in short order, you want to make sure your house is in tip-top shape. And I like tip-top shape. So before we hit winter and you think, maybe I need a new roof, or I at least need somebody to come and take a look at it to make sure that, I don't have any leaks, I don't have any lifted shingles, there's not a lot of debris in my gutters, those kinds of things before the weather gets, really cold and crappy and you don't want to do anything outside. Exterior things are always a good idea.
Or is the consumer so savvy today that you cannot get by, even though you don't think, if it's cosmetic, I've got to fix it, but if it's not really cosmetic to where it's visual to the eye, I don't have to worry about it? If somebody's coming in to look at your house, one of the first things they're going to ask today's consumer is, how's the roof and how old is the roof?
Sure, and that's why we have seller disclosures. We want the seller to fill out that seller disclosure honestly, thoroughly. How old's the roof? Did you ever have a leak? How old's your furnace? Do you have it serviced regularly? It's a 9-page disclosure that needs to be filled out by every seller, to the best of your knowledge and information. Now, things that happened before you lived there, you may not know about, but during the time period that you lived there, we have an expectation that you're honest on that seller disclosure. But having said that, 99% of buyers, unless they're investors and contractors themselves, have a home inspection. So you could be honest as the day is long on that seller disclosure, and there are things you still don't know about as a seller. Then you have your home inspection and they find some miscellaneous things or some major things that you had no idea about. So, inspections are a whole nother ballgame, but on my website, there are lots of seller and buyer tips. And I think it's real important to get that house as tuned up as you possibly can before you list it, to get in front of any issues that you may have on home inspections.
So, folks, some of these things that we're talking about, if you want to call in, and we're getting some calls right now, we'd love to hear from you to give us your thoughts or chime in on any of the topic of discussion with Lauren Klein. She's here twice a month, 412-628-8286, 412-628-8286. Sadly, you've got a family member right now maybe listening to us who was coming back or was headed over for the first time to start gathering all of the stuff, that the home that they grew up in, that their parents have loaned for the last 40 years, now has to go up on the market.
Yes.
And once they get in there and they realize, you know, the disclosure and everything that they've got to do and repair, that they're going to make hardly next to nothing in the way of a profit or anything for the most part. You know, we've always heard this topic as is. Do people actually still sell homes that way?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And if the seller doesn't have the finances to make repairs on the house that need to be made, then that it becomes the buyer's responsibility, and that's as is. And the buyer goes in knowing that whatever's wrong with this house, I'm going to have to fix it. And can I afford to fix it? Do I have the expertise? Do I have the time? Do I have the money to make these changes or make these adjustments? And I think, you know, and that's why it's really, really important when you're in that situation and you're putting a loved one's house on the market to have a plan of action. And without that plan of action, you're going to be all over the place, and that is no fun for anybody.
Yeah, and, you know, we talk about the whole power of attorney thing and estate planning, and it's all so essential. So when you do get that real estate agent, all of the balls are in place, and you can get moving in the right direction. Okay, let's take our first call of the morning with Lauren Klein, Pittsburgh Property Diva. Bob from the Mon Valley is on the air with us. Good morning, Robert. Welcome to KDK Radio. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Good morning, guys. Interesting show today. I think I have an unusual question for you, Lauren.
Hi, Bob.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Listen, I own property in the Mon Valley and close to the city.
Okay.
And the property values obviously have gone down. There's been a lot of changes. You know, factories have closed, things like that. And you know, I've been watching like the gentrification of the East Liberty area. And I was wondering if you see any time in the near future, like I'm actually watching this Amazon thing because I think if
you and everybody else, Bob.
Right. Well, I guess my question is, should I sit on this property and see what happens here, or should I be cutting my losses and moving on out of the Mon Valley?
Well, what condition is the property in?
I would say it's in a very good position, condition. I have, it's probably, well, I would say it's the nicest house on my street by Mon Valley standards.
Okay. Have you had a professional take a look at it and give you a market analysis with a high, a low, and a median?
No, I have not. I've had two things happening. I have house flippers coming to my door.
Okay.
And calling. And I have people trying to buy it for other reasons, like to convert it to commercial or something like, you know, like. So right now, I'm just kind of trying to figure out whether I need to cut my losses and give it up, or just kind of wait it out. So
well, you know, anytime these changes go down, like for example, East Liberty, it doesn't happen overnight. So the people that were on a hold in East Liberty and Lawrenceville, well, you saw what happened in Lawrenceville.
Correct.
The houses that you could buy, you know, 15 or 20 years ago for $20,000, you know, are worth $500,000 now.
Right. And that's kind of where we are in the Mon Valley, Lauren. I think that's what's happened.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're not in any rush and you don't need the money, let just sit and hold. You obviously have interest because people are coming to you. Right?
Right.
Right.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Right. People are coming to me. Yes.
Yes. So I would maybe hold until next spring and see what the market changes.
Okay. Well, all right. I was looking for the best advice in town, and I guess I got it.
Well,
so
I hope so. Thank you, Bob.
Is intuition pretty much your instinct still the best way to go?
It has to be. You have to be thoughtful in your analysis, and you know nobody has a crystal ball. I wish I did, but I don't. And you have to use your past experience and your intuition and what the rest of the market is doing and how things are growing and moving, and so many wonderful businesses coming into the city. And great businesses that have always been here, bringing people in from out of town. So it's important to pay attention to those things so you know what the market's doing.
You know what amazes me? How many times I see people actually sell their home, but they stay in the same part of Pittsburgh. And to me, that just goes to show you how deep roots, once somebody gets into a house, they start to form.
Right. Well, we have the same thing that happens in the suburbs. You know, they move from one end of one end of town to the other end of town. They move up, they move down, they downsize, you know. But usually I think Pittsburghers are loyal, and they stay put for the most part.
They do.
Unless they get tired of the weather.
All right, listen, it's okay. Got to have the seasons. We'll take a break, and we'll come back after CBS Radio News and a brief commercial break. We'll get right back to your phone call. So if you have anything on your mind in the way of real estate, Lauren Klein is here up until 9 o'clock. And then Mary Ellen Pfeiffer is here, the Waters of Wexford. Love what they do. She'll step in from 9 until 10. Then the guys from True Value. And, of course, at 11 o'clock, AAA Central Talking Travel. And today, Tracy Edwards is going to be talking about seeing the country via Amtrak. Pretty cool stuff. So stay with us today on KDK Radio. Good morning.
KDKA.
All right, Mary Ellen Pfeiffer, looking forward to the waters of Wexford next hour. But right now, it's the incredible talent of Lauren Klein, PittsburghPropertyDiva.com, 412-628-8286. You know, we were talking about all of her open house listings that she has tomorrow, and you can see for yourself by going to PittsburghPropertyDiva.com. But here's the question. How do you get your house prepared for an open house? She's going to give you the answer right now.
Well, if you miss this and you don't have time to take notes, you can always download the Prepare for Showings and Open Houses flyer on PittsburghPropertyDiva.com, which is it's a really easy. It's only 8 things that I have on here to keep it simple. But people, what do they do when they first get to your house? They see the outside. So you want to make sure your grass is mowed, your shrubs are trimmed, you're mulched, your porch is nice and clean, your furniture is in good order on the front porch. A new welcome mat is only $9.99 at Walmart. And
I'll sell you mine for $5.
Yeah, new welcome mat on the front door always looks really nice.
It does.
And then once you get up to the front door, the trim on the front door. Is your doorknob falling off? Does the lock work?
So you were on my porch last night.
I might have been.
My doorknob's falling. No, I'm
doorknob's falling off. So those are the kinds of things that
really first impressions of that.
Really pay attention to those things.
I wonder how many people hire you.
Well, I pay attention. I can be a very, very picky buyer, but in the nicest way, get you all ready to combat the picky buyer and make sure that everything is in good order. So paint, trim, front porch, very important. When you walk in the front door, do you want people to take their shoes off? Put a little sign up. Put a mat there for people to take their shoes off and walk through your house. That? Absolutely.
See, I'm a big fan of that because that's the way it was when I was growing up. You just didn't walk into someone's house with your shoes on.
And clump around in your shoes.
No.
Some people don't mind. Other people are very particular. If you are very particular, then you let your agent know, I want to sign up by the front door that says, please remove your shoes. And here's a mat, and it's real simple. You just take your shoes off and go through the house. Is it clean? Does it smell good? Don't over air freshen. Not a lot of those things that you plug into the walls. Those really send a message that you're covering something up.
Right.
Okay. A light scent, a clean scent, like fresh laundry smells nice, or fresh baked cookies or a pie smell nice. Fish and broccoli do not smell nice.
No.
Okay?
No.
So don't cook that stuff the night before a showing or an open house.
Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine if you realize after you've done it?
It happens.
Oh, my goodness.
It happens. So people are very particular about smells and clean.
Lauren, a lot of sunlight.
Sunlight. Open those curtains. Open the blinds. You don't have to yank the blind all the way to the top, but if you have the what is this? Horizontal?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Horizontal blinds, open them up so the sunlight comes through. People love natural light.
Get the pets out of the house if you have pets.
Pets out of the house, pet bowls, pet beds, kitty boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Those kinds of things all need to go somewhere temporarily. Even if you put them in your shed, that's okay. But in the house where people are living, you want to make it as neutral and clean and fresh smelling as possible. Nothing, no dishes in the sink, nice clean countertop, toilet seats down in the bathroom. I am really fussy about toilet seats up. I don't know why. Put the toilet seat down in the bathroom.
Please.
Please. Make the beds. Fluff the pillows. Clean towels out in the bathroom. Garbage cans. If you have a lot of people have the built-in garbage can where it's just built into the cabinetry and you slide it out. Obviously, that's going to stay, but you want to make sure that it's clean so it doesn't smell like garbage. If you have a removable garbage can, take it downstairs and put it in your garage. Nobody wants to look at your garbage can. Vacuum your carpets, load the dishwasher, washer and dryer, when you go into a laundry room, nobody wants to look at all your laundry. Even if you have to just stuff it all into the washing machine and shut the lid and put the empty basket on the top, that's okay. I would go around to every room, do a nice little dust. Again, make sure those windows are nice and bright and open and nice and clean.
You know, everybody wants to make their house cozy. You know, you think of lighting candles, you think of aerosols, all that stuff. But reality is, just make it cozy, natural, with natural sunlight. The door open, meaning the storm door, there's glass when it comes to the entranceway. They can see into your house. Just make Mother Nature do the work for you.
Right. Crack some windows.
Right.
Let the fresh air in. If you happen to make fish or broccoli the night before, I do have a really easy, and it's very cheap, little solution. I think you talked about this maybe, I don't know, 6 months or last year. You take a little saucepan on the stove,
right,
a little bit of water, and an apple, some cinnamon.
Nice.
And you can put an orange in there and let it simmer. It'll smell like you just baked a pie. And then take that pot and you just stick it in the oven. That's it. You don't need to spray anything. You don't need to light candles or plug anything into the wall.
So
it's real easy.
If you go to 4 out of 6 houses and it smells like apple pie, they either like apple pie or they had fish and broccoli.
Right.
That's what you're trying to tell me. All right, listen. So I go to PittsburghPropertyDiva.com.
Uh-huh.
Tell the folks what I'm going to see there.
You are going to see all of my listings, all of the prices, the details, what I have open tomorrow. I want to say there's 6 or 7 open tomorrow, either from between 12 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
So if you're looking for a house and you want to hit some open houses, tomorrow might be a great day to do that. You're also going to be able to find tips if you're a buyer, if you're a seller. There are tabs you can drop down. You can download all my tip sheets, my forms, anything that's helpful to you. And you can always call me or send me an email, and I'll try and help any way I can.
All right, let's get a break in here. We'll come back, spend the remaining moments on some of the things that we learned today on the program. But you can always find out more, as we mentioned, by going to PittsburghPropertyDiva.com. And if you want to talk to her directly, you can call her directly at 412-628-8286. If you have a question for us, 866-391-1020. Dollar Bank Instant Access, KDKRadio.com, and you can text us on the Red Automotive line, the best deal in town. Pittsburgh Property Diva, Lauren Klein, Coldwell Banker, Murraysville. Back with more in a moment on KDK Radio. Good morning.
on the voice of Pittsburgh, KDKA.
All right, I said to her moments ago, I said, are you ready? She said, I'm ready. So
Ready.
It's all yours. Kind of take us through the timeline on what we've learned today. Pittsburgh Property Diva, Lauren Klein, Rob Pratt, KDK Radio. Good morning.
Well, I'd like to touch quickly on my new listings and my Facebook page, where you will also be able to, and on my website, is check out some new drone footage I have of a couple new listings and some price reductions. I have 2 price reductions this week, 5 new listings, 7 open houses tomorrow, lots of drone footage. I also have some Matterport footage of a super cool house I listed in Monroeville on Kelly Court. It is so modern and so fresh. A lot of clean lines and open, tons of light, not a lot of furniture, beautiful brand new kitchen. In fact, the whole house is brand new on the inside. But you can see lots of pictures. The Matterport, if you've never taken a Matterport tour, it's really easy, pretty self-explanatory once you get in there, but it will give you a 360-degree walk-through view of the house, and you just move it around with your finger or your mouse, and it's a really neat way to look at houses. The drone footage is really nice. Those videos are only about 2 minutes long, but you get to see the overhead, the neighborhood, the views. It's very cool too. If you are a seller and you're getting ready for a showing or an open house, make sure your house is cleaned up and smells good. Not a lot of clutter, nice and clean and tidy. Get your pets out and your pet supplies, pet bowls, garbage cans, all that kind of good stuff. And I think curb appeal, super important. I would definitely pay attention to what my house looks like from the outside. So drive up on your own house and be a buyer and say, oh, maybe I could trim those shrubs back a little bit. Maybe that tree needs trimmed down. Maybe I need to do a little edging or lay some new mulch or put a couple mums on my front porch. Those things go a long way, believe it or not.
I never could figure out why fall isn't a more attractive time of the year to sell your house. I guess it's just because people are so busy this time of year, you know?
Well, they're busy, but it's also a good time of year if you do need to move by the end of the year and you want to entertain the holidays in a new house. So it's just very buyer dependent what people are looking for and when they want to look for it.
But this is when people put their best foot forward with their house. Really.
Absolutely. And the first 30 days on the market are the most important days. Right. So you want to be positioned right price-wise, and you really want that house to shine, have some great marketing, and make sure you have professional photos of your house. There's so many easy things to do to make your house really, really shine, and that's what I do. I meet with people all week long and talk to them about what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done. Save your money here, spend a little bit of money here, and hopefully we position it right and we get it sold in short order. I don't like things to drag on. Everybody gets frustrated.
Well, they do get frustrated, but when do you decide to punt? I mean, when does frustration become reality to where you've got to revisit the price or do something?
Well, after 30 days, and either we've had no action or a ton of action and the feedback. So I have to look at that feedback. I share it with my clients, obviously, as soon as I get it. Mm-hmm. But after 20 or 30 days, and we have lots of showings, and the feedback is pretty consistent, then we need to make some adjustments and reposition ourselves to meet where the market is. So I don't like to let things drag on too long.
No, because I think the longer you let things drag on, something else pops up.
Right. And then the market may change. People may have more things to look at. It gets a little bit more competitive. But pricing when you're first out of the gate is very important. And the only way you're going to really know if you're priced properly, aside from looking at the comps
Right.
and doing a really nice, tight evaluation of the house, is to see what the buyers have to say. Because
Right.
if they love it, they'll buy it. And it's priced right.
Lauren Klein, Pittsburgh Property Diva, 412-628-8286. What's a percentage or 1 out of 10? I mean, what is it when it comes to first price is right usually? Is it usually right, or are you slicing and dicing more times than not?
Well, I like to think when my sellers really listen to me and I give them a range, list between here and here,
Right.
and they listen to me, the results are usually very, very good. If the property is unique, the unique properties are very hard to price and sell because you can't pull comps. So like a log cabin on 15 acres, that's hard to price.
Right.
So it's a lot of kind of adjustments, and you do great marketing and you bring buyers in, but it's unique. It's not for everybody, and there aren't a lot of comps to compare it with.
Is your strategy any different when you have something like that to sell as opposed to a ranch house in Murraysville that's been there since 1957?
Well, what I don't want to do is underprice it. I want to, as a selling agent, sell the house for as much as I can in the shortest period of time.
You want it to work.
When you're dealing with unique properties, the buyers that are interested in that unique property are few. It's not like, your $200,000 2-story, 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath house. Those are very easy to comp. It's the unique ones that are a challenge. And, I always tell my sellers too that this is not one of those houses that's going to sell overnight. I hope it does, but I have a feeling it's just going to be trial and error price-wise. If the pictures are good and we're getting, some showings, but it's trial and error with unique properties. When standard houses in neighborhoods are a little bit easier to price, then you're talking about improvements and, do you have granite countertops and marble floors and hardwood floors and, what kind of upgrades have you made to the house? Those add value.
See, that's why being a real estate professional is just that, more so than ever. Because for cookie cutter, for many years, it was that ranch house or that row house or that condo or that split level or that Victorian. But now it's wide open out there.
It is. There are tons of different houses to pick from in tons of different neighborhoods with different demographics. And it is really a case-by-case analysis.
All right, who's calling you right now to say, hey, look, this is what you need to do for me? Is it the person who wants it by the end of the year? Person wants the spring market next year? Who person right now has decided I'm going to move on and get another broker? In this case, it's going to be Lauren Klein and Caldwell Banker. I mean, all of the above?
I say if they call me now and they say, I really need to sell my house by the end of the year, I say, well, we need to get it on the market in the next 2 weeks.
That quick?
Next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yes, absolutely. You want to hit that market right after Labor Day and get in there because, again, even if you list by the end of September and you sell it in 2 days, you're still not closing until November.
Should you have a place lined up already or an idea of where you want to go?
You need to definitely have a plan in place. If you're building new construction and you want your house sold by the end of the year, but your new construction isn't going to be finished until April, then we need to have an alternate housing plan for you in place.
What's the typical time with new home construction?
It's
3, 6 months?
I would say 4 to 6 months.
Okay, in between.
Yeah, and then if you're doing a custom build with a lot of square footage, then you could be 9 months, a year, just depending on how big that house is. But if you want your house sold by the end of the year, don't miss the boat in September.
What do you do between now and 2 weeks? So they make the call to you today, and they in 412-628-8286 say, Lauren, I want to be within 2 weeks. So what do you do between now and 2 weeks to get it on the market?
I go and meet with them. I give them a plan of action based on the overall condition of their house. Do they need to make a couple little improvements? Do they need to move some furniture around, pack some things up? I give them a plan. And then we set a timeline. Here's when your photographs need to be done by. Here's when I need to launch your listing. Here's when we'll have an open house. And there's a process that I developed over the last decade that is very, very smooth. And I try and keep my clients organized, and that decreases panic and upsets.
Yeah, don't get overwhelmed. Don't panic.
It
Don't
is
freak
overwhelming to begin with.
Well,
but the more organized you are and the better prepared you are and the better plan of action you have, the better you'll feel.
Let me, the old saying, don't love anything and can't love you back. Now you're telling me. But anyway, do young people today, not millennials, because that's too young, but I mean, maybe Generation X even, or younger baby boomers, are they as attached to their homes as our generation was, you think?
I don't. Some are and some aren't.
And it's almost good that they're not.
Some are and some aren't. I find the most emotional attachment for me with clients is when children are selling their parents' homes for them. Yeah. I do have people who get sad. I brought my babies here. I had parties here. There is always some kind of sentimental value, but I think it's less with the younger people.
Just don't do what I did. It's time for you to move out of my house. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Because time does go on. But here's what's amazing. And you've seen this so many times, and you're such an adult compared to me. I get that. But you live in a place 30, 40 years, and it's everything that your house was. And within just 10 years, multiple families in some cases, even one family, it's like a whole new set of rules, a whole new stories being written.
Yes.
And it's like time stands still for no one.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And me, I'm not one to get attached to houses. I could pack up and move next week. I like to move. I like new and getting settled, and I like all that. Doesn't bother me.
Listen, it's been a joy. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
My pleasure. Thank you.
412-628-8286. Now, the Waters of Wexford, Mary Ellen Pfeiffer coming up. Love what they do, passionate about what they do. You're going to want to stay with us for that as we continue on your Saturday at KDK Radio. Good morning.